let's see if we can push things up. All right, again, there's my intro. This is goes off of a previous task, essentially from Math 1, where it talks about Scott and he wants to get fit, so he starts deciding, hey, I'm going to keep track of push-ups. So we're going to model, or we're going to look at the difference between linear and quadratic functions again. Basically, he goes on and he accepts this challenge of being able to do push-ups. So we're going to keep track of how many push-ups he does in over a 4-day period, over an entire month. Question number 1 says, model the number of push-ups Scott will complete on any given day. And it gives me a diagram here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at that. We're going to look at some equations. Again, we're going to look at explicit equations versus recursive equations. But first we have to look at this and we have to say, what are we dealing with? Are we dealing with linear, quadratic, or exponential functions? So when we look at the model, we see that day 1, which we'll just go ahead and fill in the table. Day 1, he's done 3 push-ups. In day 2, how many did he do? You can look at the graph and see that he did 5 push-ups, which is a total of 2 more. Day 3, 7. Day 4, 9. So based off of that, we go off of 5 and 6. Somebody's calling me. I'm not too worried about it. I'll get it in a second. Well, actually, it'll be more than a second. But 9, we can go off of that. 11, and we can go 13. So plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. Well, when we go ahead and we look at that, we can see that it has a first difference. So can we create our equations? Go back to page 4 and 5 of your workbook. Your explicit equation simply starts off with f of x is equal to your beginning value, which is 3, plus your constant rate of change times 2x minus 1. So there we go. There's your explicit function. Your recursive is going to be the first value. F of 1 is 3. And we're going to have to say f of x is equal to f of x minus 1. And then this is plus 2. So there's your recursive equations for that. Go ahead and fill out the table and graph. For the sake of the video, I'm not going to fill this out, but I will tell you that the number of days goes on the x-axis, 1, 2, 3, 4, although you should continue to about 7 or 8 or maybe 10. And then you have the number of push-ups. S-H-U-P-S. Make sure you get that spelled right. And then this, you get to have the liberty of increasing this however you want. Look at your starting total and look at your ending total. You probably want to go a little bit after that. So make sure you fill in the graph. And what should you know about the graph? Well, it's a linear function, so that should tell you what the graph should be. When we move on, it says, okay, now we want to compare a different set of data. So the different set of data that we're comparing is the total number of push-ups he will do in a month. Now this changes. And in class we looked at it and somebody said, well, he's going to do 60 in a month. We had one of the class say he's going to do 1,000 in a month, or he's going to do 700, or he's going to do, I think it was 200, somewhere around in there. And it's like, hey, where is the estimate of where you think he's going to be? So on the low and high side, where do you think he's going to be? Well, we have a 7-day plan here. So let's look and draw, what is he doing over the first 7 days? Now, my grids here are off a little bit compared to your book, but we'll get the idea. The very first one, I'm gonna color in 3 boxes. So this is gonna be a bar graph. All right? Well, why is it a bar graph? It's a bar graph because this is a bar graph. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. You can see it's getting taller. Right? But we want the total number. So after day 2, what has he done? Well, he did the first 3 plus he did 2 more. So that's what he did after day 2. Day 3, day 4, day 5. So go ahead and pause and fill in day 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 and go all the way to day 7. You should have paused. After you come back, now we want to know the total. Well, day 1 he did 3. Day 2 he did 3 plus 5, which was 8. Day 3 he did 8 plus 7. Day 4 he did 15 plus 9. You kind of should kind of see where this is going now. This is going where, okay, 3, 5, 7, 9. So this should be plus 11, plus 13, plus 15. So it's the previous day's total is what it should be. So looking at that, how do we go ahead and figure out how many he's done in 1 week? Well, what did he do in 1 week? Go ahead and count it. Stop and count how much he did in 1 week. How much will Scott do in 1 week? So what is f of 7, right? That's what you want to know. Estimate that. Be wrong, be right, I don't really care. Count the number of boxes over here. It doesn't really matter how you do that. What you should estimate is you should estimate somewhere around 63 push-ups. That's what you should do in 1 week. Right? Now it goes on, question number 5 says create a model. How are we going to create a model? This model is going to be created kind of on the easy side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stop, and I'm going to pause, and I'm going to create a part B video. So stay tuned to see how we create that, and we'll do part B coming up here in a second.